Thank you for stopping by for this 100th episode of Vintage Audio Review. I thought I would do something a little bit different for my 100th episode, and before I get into the question that I posted for the title of this video, I just thought I would thank everybody for subscribing and watching my videos. I started this about 2 years ago in March of 2022, so I'll be going on 3 years. I have released one video a week for every week during that time period, and hopefully you have enjoyed most of them. I also appreciate all the subscribers, of course, and I think at this time I'll have about 1,800 subscribers by the time this video hits, which should be around the beginning of February 2024. So I thank everybody for doing that. The big things to help your channel are to subscribe, do a thumbs up if you like the video, leave comments, and if you watch the video more towards the end, it helps, I guess, with the algorithms that YouTube uses to determine how much you will get paid for your video. Now, I am able to have my channel monetized. I haven't got a check from them yet. You have to hit like $100 before they mail you a check, so that kind of just tells you it's not something. It's a good thing that I'm retired already and I'm not dependent on YouTube for my income. I just thank you guys for your comments and questions in the comments and for watching. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit before I get into the question, which is, if you knew you were going to be stranded on a desert island, what speaker would you bring with you? It's kind of like, what is your favorite speaker? But there's a small little twist, and you'll hear my reply in just a minute or so. I also will have a few of my audio friends give their reply on video. I sure hope that you guys will let me know what would be the speaker you would bring with you and why. So that's kind of just it in a nutshell. Other things about the channel. I know a lot of times there's a lot of data, and data could be boring. I'll try to make the presentation more exciting. I'll try to use more chapters where, chapter marking, so maybe you could fast forward to the max power or the frequency response. As I can, I will do that. I do know that there's data, and sometimes or most of the time I talk in a monotone. I'll try to spice that up a little bit, but after all, it is data. It's hard to get overly excited about it, even if you're me, but I will tell you that I do get excited about some of the units as I'm testing them, but I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to that kind of stuff. So anyway, the other thing is I'm going to try a live stream maybe in a month or so. So maybe around March, there's some things I'm looking at as to doing it. It'll probably start off as a half hour unless there's a lot of people with questions. And I'll just try that at least once. So the title of this video is, what speaker would you bring to a desert island? Now, I noticed a few weeks ago, I heard Kevin in Skylabs, the YouTube channel. They're a great channel. He does a fantastic job. Somebody asked him that exact question. Well, that wasn't what gave me the idea for this. I actually have to give credit to that from one of my friends, Michael, and hopefully he'll leave a video telling what his favorite speaker will be if I can get a hold of him. So he asked me, with all the speakers I have, what would be your desert island speaker? And I thought that was an interesting way to do it. Apparently there's a British a show maybe that talks about desert island situations, what you would bring. But anyway, that's what drove me, was Michael's question, and I kind of been pondering that over the years, and I thought this would be a good way to celebrate the 100th episode.
Yeah, you go ahead. Yeah, so mine is going to be the obvious one, right? It's the 1968 sealed box, Boss 901s, because the ported boxes, the ported ones I'm not a fan of. Plus they got foam rot, so if you're on a desert island, you're surrounded by salt air, you don't want the foam to rot. You don't know how long you're going to be on there for, right? And this way you can scare any animals away.
So Todd, what are you bringing with you on the desert island?
The MC Audio Tech TL12. I can't afford it personally, but that's if I won the lottery, that would be the speaker.
And what would be the reason why?
I heard at a show, and it was the best in show, and it was relatively. It wasn't the most expensive speakers, but I liked them as much as like the Wilsons and the Magicos, and you go for a fraction of the price.
Anything to drive them?
You're on a desert island, and that could be part of your answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so assuming that there's other things to drive them, it would have to be either the Pioneer HPM 100. I have to go back in time to get a brand new pair, obviously, from Japan, or the Legacy Audio Focus, one of those two.
What would be the main reason why?
They're 12-inch four-ways, so you're not going to get bored. There's plenty of piston area to keep the sound moving.
It would have to be an Ariel Acoustics Model 8.
What's special about that you would want that with you on that desert island?
Well, what's special about them is actually a combination of how well they pair with my Macintosh MC501s. But they're open, they're revealing, they're beautiful speakers, book-matched veneers, with the titanium tweeter and the soft dome woofer, and then the 10-inch sub sitting in the bass in its own 61-liter enclosure. They really put out some very clear, concise, and warm sound.
I think I'm a planar guy, and I love electrostatics, but not knowing what the room looks like.
You're on a desert island.
I know
No room.
an ohm F or better because they're so room independent. It's like a perfect cocktail party speaker. The ohms are very room independent.
So Ian, you know you're going to be stranded on a desert island. What speaker would you bring with you?
You know, Scott, that's a tough question. There's so many good ones out there, but I'd have to go with my Wilson Audio Sashas. They're just stand ahead above everybody else's speakers that I've listened to. And if I had to only pick one, that would have to be my choice. Okay, Richard, you're stuck on a desert island. What speaker do you wish you would have with you?
I would use a JBL Paragon so that I could also put a mattress on it and sleep on top of it at times.
So Tom, you're going to be stranded on a desert island and you're allowed to bring a pair of speakers with you. What would they be?
The Quad ESL 5.7, although they're not really 5.7s, they're just the Quad ESL, but because they came out in 1957, everyone calls them ESL 5.7. So that's what we'll call them.
And the reason you would bring them with you?
They are sophisticated, they are elegant, they are timeless, and that's just the outside. The sound is even better. It's clear, it's undistorted, it's natural, and after you hear them, you don't need to hear anything else.
Excellent. Okay, so the question at hand is, what speaker would you bring with you if you knew you were going to be stranded on a deserted island? Now, it's probably not going to be much of a shocker to a few of you who have been watching the channel for a long time, or my friends. And if you go back to episode number 22, I talked about my industrial Klipsch La Scala loudspeakers that I've owned new since 1980. And yes, that would be the speaker I would want with me. Now, there's several reasons for it. They do have an emotional attachment. I mean, I've had them for that long. They're in a lot of pictures, as you saw in the video, of our house and dorm room and everything. So there's that little bit of emotional attachment. As far as the practical aspect, they are very, very efficient. I could get a lot of sound out of them with just 2 watts. So I could bring a little Class D amplifier, and if I need to charge up the battery, you know, during the day to power the amplifier for a couple hours of audio enjoyment, you know, that would be great. So it's not going to need a lot to drive it, so I could have a very small amplifier. Also, it has handles, so it's easy to move around. It's got a rugged finish, so it can take the weathering a little bit more. The woofer's hidden from the elements. So that would definitely be the speaker I would bring with me on a deserted island. The other thing is, of all the speakers that I've heard, and I've heard a lot, overall I really, really like the sound of the Klipsch La Scala for most of the music that I listen to. Overall, it's just sometimes, to me, it's kind of magical just to sit back and listen to those speakers do their thing. So I would like to hear the speaker that you would bring if you knew you were going to be stranded on a deserted island. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. If you like the video, click the thumbs up. I guess if you don't like the video, you can hit thumbs down. And until next time, have a great day or night.